Today we have a video called Why Gen Z Dating is So Bad. And as a Gen Z couple, we thought we might be able to give some insight because we do have Gen Z friends that aren't in relationships, so we know somewhat how it's like. And then we also have the other way, the other perspective. There we go. The other perspective of what it's like actually being in a relationship. We've been in a relationship for 5 years now, so we met in high school. We'll tell our story in a bit, depending on what this guy says. But let's react to why Gen Z dating is so bad.
All right, so I want to talk about how dating apps have completely ruined dating for Gen Z. You know, they were designed to help people fall in love and find their person, but instead they've turned everyone into commitment-fearing zombies who can't even hold a conversation. Let me break it down. If you're new here, consider subscribing.
Yeah, consider subscribing to us if you're new here. Thank you for the shout out.
So I think the first problem that dating apps bring to the table is that they've turned dating into a buffet. You know, you're not trying to find the one, you're just scrolling.
Sorry to prematurely pause it, but that is definitely true. Even though I've never been on a dating app, I've seen my friends use it or I've heard the stories, and I'm assuming you have too, seen friends use it.
I've never been on a dating app, so I don't know. I know how they work. Like, it's pretty obvious. Everyone says you just swipe left or right, and then you match with someone or you don't, and then you can talk to them. But I can see why dating apps are a huge problem.
For sure. Before this guy probably says the same thing that we're saying, I will say I do feel like we lucked out not finding each other on a dating app, because it definitely is not good to view real life people as just a video game to get validation or just dopamine from getting texts from people and then never actually meeting up. You need to see people face to face. I mean, you could be talking to Ted Bundy on there.
Going through endless profiles like it's a menu. Oh, like, she's cute, but let's see what else is out there. And next thing you know, you swipe through 300 people, and now you're too tired to actually talk to anyone.
If I wasn't in a relationship with Joey, I know I could never go on a dating app. I would be thinking this guy's swiping on all these other girls too, like I'm not special.
And I've heard it from friends. They say, like, they've met girls in there, they see their girl's phone, it's like blown up with tons of dudes hitting her up, and their phone is like, they're lucky if they get one within a week.
I think it's also bad that they have the option that you can pay. I don't know how much it is. I think there's like memberships. I don't know. I think because you run out of swipes, I know.
It's basically pay to play.
Into like a mass Costco sampling experience where it's like you're walking into the grocery store, and instead of actually purchasing groceries or having a list of things you're looking for, you're kind of just floating around, going from sample to sample, deciding on what you might like. It's like a very weird way to go about your love life. And I know that a lot of people don't even use the apps for dating or for love. Like, they're just looking for a one-night fling.
To a lot of people, the apps, like when you say Tinder, it's kind of synonymous with talking about hookup culture or hooking up for the night. It's not really. They are dating apps, but at this point, like you said, a lot of them are just synonymous with hooking up with people.
That are literally forced to use Tinder, which is mostly used for hookups and stuff because it's the biggest app. It has the most people on it. So you kind of got to pick your poison. You can either use some random app that nobody's heard of with the likelihood of the quality of the person being higher and not someone who's just DTF, with the downside being you get like one match every 3 weeks. Or you can use Tinder, get a lot more matches, but a lot of them are just no interest in actual dating or seriousness. And it's now the case that your dating perception is totally skewed and weird. Let's say you match with someone you think is pretty. Are you just gonna like only message that person now?
I don't know if this guy will make this point, but I've always thought it has to be so awkward for your first interaction to be just straight up texting, because you just don't get any sort of, you don't get to know anybody at all through texting. Like, you don't get their personality quirks, their humor. When I met Lauren, I met her at the park, and I did end up texting you to get to know you more so that we actually could call on the phone. But I did meet you in person when I met you.
We also went to the same school and would see each other every day after that, so...
Yeah, no, I met you at the park, then texted you later that day, and then we got on a phone call, and then we started hanging out at school. But all of that was still seeing each other face to face, getting to know each other's humor.
Thousands of new profiles you can swipe through for something better. And even if you go on a date with that person...
say they have like 5 Johns they talk to, and they see, John texted me, and they're like, which John is this one?
Yeah, John from this place, John 3. John 5, guitar player.
And why would you delete the app after the date, right? You're going to keep Tinder on your phone until it's a lock. I think the reason for this extends past Tinder. I think that has to do with the fear of commitment that everybody has now because of either a very bad relationship they've had previously or they've been ghosted. But I think things have swung so far in the other direction that a little bit more commitment throughout the dating world would go a long way.
Yeah, I think he's getting to the better point there. I think he's kind of missing the mark on the people are just scared because of issues. I think it's more just like people are getting more degenerate, honestly. Like, I don't think people are necessarily scared. I think people just don't care to be in long-term relationships because it's not fun. And life is just all about having fun and being happy all the time. But in reality, no. I mean, to be in a long-term relationship, there's going to be those points when it's not fun. You hear about marriages. I mean, you just really got to push through. That honeymoon phase only lasts, obviously, for a few months. And then you got to actually love each other and push through that. And I think once that phase is done, or that first dopamine hit of getting like a text from your crush is over with, these people are just on to the next person.
Yeah.
Kind of leads into the ghosting epidemic, which is like, ghosting is the official sport of Gen Z. You know, you match, you chat for 2 days, you're planning a date, and then boom, they vanish. No explanation, no goodbye. They're just gone.
I think it's because people aren't honest. Either they don't like how you look, or they're just bored and want to talk to you. And then when it comes down to it, they're like, I don't want to meet this person.
And people are just kind of douchey now too, not necessarily on purpose, but just with the antisocialness, it does come across really bad. I don't know if this guy will if he's about to say it, but I have heard people defend it and say, well, I don't want to just say to the person that they're not interested in, or I'm not interested. But that probably is the better route to go. It's kind of like the whole, when you apply for a job, if you're not going to get the job, do you prefer to hear back but it's a rejection letter, or do you prefer to just not hear back and you have to assume you didn't get the job? That's kind of the whole mindset behind the two.
They're saying, well, you're not entitled to a response or a conversation or something, which is like, will you be handcuffed if you do not respond to somebody's message after responding to them for like, you know, a week and leading them on? No. But it's a dick move. It's just fucking rude. And it's like so normal. Like, you tell someone, oh yeah, I ghosted him or I ghosted her. It's like, oh,
people
okay.
laugh
Like, it's just like a, you know, nod and keep it moving sort of thing. One time I had a friend who was matching with this girl and I thought she was pretty. I was like, hey, good job, man. And a week later, she ghosted him and I'm like, well, let me see the text, you know, let me go do a play-by-play analysis, see where you may have dropped the ball or fumbled. And I couldn't really find anything. I mean, he was playing by the book.
That's true too. That does suck. I do want to make the point though, another reason I'm glad that I'm not in the dating apps or the dating culture is this like clown show that guys put themselves through to try to impress girls that just end up ghosting them, or they just end up not caring. It's like, it feels like these guys are putting on these like stupid dances and being jesters online. Like, if you read some of the texts from these dudes, what they're sending these chicks, it's like the cringiest stuff ever. And I think some of the girls like it, like they are playing the game how they're supposed to play it, but it's like, if you can, just try to cut through all that and meet somebody in person, because it is dorky as hell what some of these guys are sending on text.
We're both scratching our heads in unison, so we just ended up concluding that she was hoeing around or something. I feel like now, on that note, a lot of people look fucking stupid on dating apps. I'll say it. Like, these bios, a lot of these prompts that people do, absolutely just foolishness.
That's kind of what I was
Well, I
saying.
don't want to swipe right on you. If I go to your bio and it says, I'm here to ruin your life, goodbye. Like, okay, goodbye. I know that
Dude,
it's...
the worst part is that works on a lot of guys. Like, they think it's funny and stuff, or they like want this like domineering or like dominating girl, and they think it's funny.
I wasn't laughing at the bio. I was laughing at his meme after.
Yeah, I could tell.
I don't want anyone thinking I thought that was like funny of her, but that's weird. I don't know.
There are people that are into that.
Yeah, like, ooh, mommy.
Yeah, the culture's really messed up right now.
But ain't it crazy? Some people see that. They're like, oh, you're here to ruin my life? Challenge accepted. Let's see how bad it gets. And then they come to you like a month later in tears, head in hands, being like, bro, I just don't get it. I thought she was the one. Are you fucking serious right now, bro? Are you actually serious with me? Bro, it's even worse on Hinge. On Hinge, there's these prompts.
Quick rant about a shower thought I recently had.
These prompts are terrible, and also it's like, I don't know, it just feels very thin. It's not deep at all. People are going to answer these in a dumb way, and if they don't, they're going to come across as cringy probably if they try to get too deep.
I honestly think this is kind of dumb. Like, this is an adult app. Do you really need a prompt to tell you how to write your bio?
And everyone has to fill them out when they're doing a profile. One of the most common ones
So you
is,
have to.
my irrational fear is blank. And all the girls, guess what they put?
Spider.
My irrational fear is men. If you're going to be unoriginal,
I was going to guess like relationships, so...
I thought it was going to be spider because I hate spiders.
like at least be unoriginal in a way that it's like still kind of a green flag. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking, my favorite show is Breaking Bad. It's like, oh, okay, that's everyone's...
Also, then guys are dumb enough to be like, I'm going to change this girl. I'm going to show her that I'm the not bad guy. And then he ends up being way too like cringy and just dumb.
Another very common one is the prompt is, I'm convinced that blank. And a lot of the girls who try to be quirky end up falling into the same exact thing where it's unoriginal. They write, Helen Keller wasn't real. I'm not even that funny of a person, but I think I'm smart enough to know that if I saw someone trying a joke around like 50 times and, you know, maybe 1 out of every 50 times it gets a chuckle, I probably wouldn't add that joke to the holster.
That's just a human experience apparently, because I see that happen all the time in YouTube comments.
But you have the same 3 hobbies. I like hiking, dogs, tacos. Oh my god. Wow, look at you. Oh, and let me guess, movies? Whoa! Do you think people are just like afraid to put their actual hobbies in like their bios and stuff?
No, I think a lot of people don't really have hobbies.
Yeah. I always hear girls just say their hobbies is hiking, reading, stuff like that. I don't know.
Even dudes, I feel like a lot of like a subsect of kind of normie, for lack of a better term, dudes, it would be gaming, watching sports,
listening to music.
It's like things you do is different than a hobby. Like watching a movie or I like to talk isn't a hobby. It's just things you like. It should be a little more specific, like woodworking if you're into that, or creating music or creating videos.
Be an NPC, because like when I'm on these apps, I'm like, oh yeah, I do YouTube videos, like that's my hobby. And if one more person puts I'm looking for my player 2 in their bio, I'm throwing my phone out the window. Now don't get me started about like the TikTok dating advice that's taken over by storm. Bro, dating advice now is the worst it's ever been. It's so bad on both sides. You know, the manosphere stuff is terrible. The TikTok, you know, girl boss stuff, terrible.
It's all sensationalism. The manosphere stuff, they bring on like the worst of the women, and then the women on TikTok talk about like the worst of the men. So it's just like you're hearing the worst of the worst advice, and it seeps into normal people, which is the worst part. Because I mean, you don't need to be sitting there listening to the same like whatever podcast types of shows. It's always the worst of the worst with the women. And then when I hear girls on TikTok giving advice, it's just like they're talking about super terrible sounding guys, and it's like, you should have been able to tell that was a bad guy after like the second time he cheated on you.
If he's on your phone while you're sitting next to him, he doesn't love you anymore.
You ask your parents for advice. They were basically born of the Stone Ages compared to what we have now. I've seen these videos of girls who intentionally ghost their Tinder dates just to make a TikTok being like, this is what not to do when texting me. And it's like giving advice to the guy that they ghosted, which is like, well, you're going to ghost him either way.
I also see people make a lot of videos that they go on dates from these dating apps only for their food to get paid.
Also, how dumb are you to admit that? You could keep getting away with it if you didn't admit it, but if a guy checks your page and that's all you do, he's gonna obviously not take you out on the date.
And then on the other hand, you have people like Fresh and Fit who make content where they literally tell their young male audience to make their girlfriend or the girl that they want to like them afraid of them, because the only way you can have a relationship with a woman is that she respects you out of fear. Insane.
What?
Also, I feel like half the people on these apps aren't actually there to date. They're just there for like validation. So yeah, dating apps were supposed to make things easier, but instead they've turned us into indecisive, validation-seeking chaos gremlins. If you've managed to find love on these apps, congrats.
Also, everybody's personality just extends from what they watch online, which sucks, because you see on both sides of the genders that everybody seems to be emulating stuff they watch online. It's like they're holding up a big mirror to you, and you can tell exactly what types of videos they're watching. I feel like I've talked to so many people, like we've been around friends and friends of friends, like girls, and they all have like a similar TikTok voice.
Yeah.
And guys that you can tell which comedian they watch a lot because they do like the same hand movements as the comedian.
Yeah, their personality is not really theirs.
That's another downside of it. And then it's just this it's like hollow person talks to another hollow person, and it's not even in person, it's through an app. So you're just getting the hollowiest of the hollow, if that's even a word. It feels like it's that. And you need to at least have some sort of connection. Find out what you like doing together. I get it, though. We'll close it out here. What would be your advice to any Gen Z person out there that's looking for a relationship? Because I find it hard to give good advice because, unless you're in high school, you can try to find people in high school.
If you're looking for a real relationship, don't use these dating apps. Yes, there's the one time maybe your friend is in a serious relationship and they said they found him on a dating app. That's like a rare occurrence. I don't think that's happening all the time. And please, if you're watching this and you're with someone from a dating app, I know it can happen, but it's just not likely. I've heard way too many people say that, even people we know, people we don't know, just say they just have one night stands or basically just talk to the person and ghost them. It's not really worth it. I would say go out in person, interact, it's good for you to see someone in person. It's good for you to interact with someone, meet new people, and then you can honestly see how they are in person rather than just texting. I also think it's a little dangerous. Anything's really dangerous, but like to meet up with a random person from online. I don't know. I'm thinking of there's like some Tinder case where the guy like killed the girl. But obviously not everyone's dangerous, but I'm just saying.
Now with the rise of ChatGPT too, you don't even know if that's actually them texting you. Like,
oh, that's another thing. I've been seeing AI accounts that are like talking to people on these things.
I didn't even mean that deep. I just meant like there could be a super socially awkward dude that's using ChatGPT to run cover for the fact that he's awkward, and so in person you just meet up with like not even necessarily a catfish face, but like a catfish personality.
I was gonna say there's probably catfish on the app too. Catfish, AI, just tons of different stuff. Like, I wouldn't recommend going on these.
I second what Lauren's saying. I think it's not the best practice to try to get a relationship from these apps. But I do feel for people out there, like, because we barely go out. I mean, we have each other, but we barely go out. So to a person out there, I don't know what I would recommend exactly to go out to, because it is kind of awkward. I mean, gym definitely doesn't sound like a place you should go and try to meet somebody for a relationship. I mean, if it works, it works, but I wouldn't go and pester people at the gym. Park can work, but what does suck and what is really at the heart of the matter is that it is a very secluded antisocial society now. So I don't blame people for using apps, because it's kind of the only place where it's socially acceptable to try to talk to people for this reason.
I mean, you can meet people and I guess have friends from these dating apps, but I wouldn't recommend for a relationship. It's kind of weird to be meeting people as friends on this app too, because obviously you're looking for a relationship. But I mean, there's Facebook groups that have like where I'm from, there's like a San Diego Facebook group that has thousands of people in it, and all the time they're posting about, hey guys, I'm having a meetup today at this park if anyone wants to join. And there's tons of people that always say, well, I'll be there, like, can't wait to meet you. So there's people like that have groups and stuff that you can join and go out to meet people.
Yeah, I just know it can be awkward. I'd say if you can find a way to meet people just genuinely and then find friends through friends, like what helped me with Lauren and what helped us find each other was I was there at the park with some friends from school, and then in their broader circle, social circle, they knew Lauren, and then I got to meet Lauren through them. They gave me her Instagram. So you need to find people within people. I know it's not the easiest thing to go up to like a girl or a guy at the park and start up and just strike up a convo, especially in today's society where everybody's like kind of on edge and doesn't really want to talk. But if you can find like groups of people just out and about, I mean, the bar I guess can work, but that was kind of like the Tinder before Tinder, and it sounded like it kind of sucked. So if you can find social areas, either hobbies you're into, which is kind of bleak now looking at this video, and most people's hobbies is like watching movies at their house. But if you can find anywhere where there's some sort of social circle or like people that seem like they want to talk, it's not like a group of people over here that are really tightly together, tightly packed and don't want to talk at all, then you got to try it. It's hard, yeah. I mean, I don't have great advice. Cause
I would just say go up to them. Like, this is a little different story, but like in Ireland, me and Joey went up to a few people, just asking questions around our age and hung out with them. And of course, it's me and Joey. It'd be a little different if it was just one of us. But Joey did go up to the group by himself because I was saving a table just in case they did say no. But you were super nervous, but like once you ask and like they're like, yeah, hang out, it's fine. But I know how it can be like very much like anxiety feeling. But
yeah, fear of rejection, just kind of fear of looking like a dork. Back to what Lauren was saying about the story in Ireland, I was just kind of anxious, like talking to some people I'd never talked to before, and they're in a big group, so it's kind of daunting. But I forced myself to, and it worked out really well. And I don't think they knew that Lauren was there until I said my girlfriend's over here as well. I think they would have said yes either way, though. And then through them, I guess you can meet more people and another circle. That's that. I hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully you're having success out there, and if you're not, life's not only about dating. Of course, I know when you're not dating it can feel boring or sad, but you know, life goes on. I think if you just keep pushing, you can try to find stuff, even if you're not like necessarily talking to people for dating. Just like get your chops up with talking to people, approaching people, cold approaching, things like that.
Get involved in more social things. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe. You can share it. This was a great video from this guy, so shout out to Cheats.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.